Alrighty, folks, we are looking to get started here. Welcome back to Ladder. We have an exciting week ahead of you. We have 3 divisions back to back to back, and we're about to get the very first one underway. This is Division 5 first. They're going to be playing 2v2s. We have a player MIA this week. So we are going to go ahead and get things started. Oops. Right off the back here. And there's the score. We probably want that, don't we? And we are off. Early lead from this Blue Alliance, 28-20 out of Autonomous. That lead is going to serve them well going forward. We see Maxford putting up the highest score right now. Puzzle not too far behind with 22 points himself. 48-36 here. Minute 55 left. Much of this game to be played. We're seeing primarily offense going off Pongo on that mini drone, trying to get those balls in. Javon with that defense, not going to let that happen just quite yet. Puzzle with these consistent cycles. It's going to be important to closing that gap here. But Maxford is not going to let that happen with that 3-ball cycle. That's going to be big. 64-52, 12 points separating these alliances. And with 2v2s, that is big. You don't want to see that. Puzzle again getting in with these points. Javon basically dedicating their life to making Maxford's life miserable right now. Just over a minute's remaining. We got 15 matches with these divisions, so we're gonna get comfortable with these players. Hopefully we can move through them quickly and stay on schedule here. 81-64, Red Alliance holding steady with that lead. We are going to see if they hold on to it to the end. They really want to make the difference here. Puzzle trying their absolute best. They just got 4 balls off Javon, matching 2. The score is suddenly anyone's game, 87-84, 3 points, and we all know climbs can be tricky here. Lots of blue balls sitting over in that truss. A place you just don't want to be. We don't see anyone going for the climbs yet. Javon and Pongo with the mini drone. They can only do so much with their climb, not going to take nearly as long. Maxford, we can see lining up there. Puzzle 13 seconds. Is he going to be able to match their energy here? 103.96. Max getting off the ground. Puzzle will not say the same quite yet. It's going to come down to these last second climbs. Who gets up? 118, 106. Final score. Looking like that's going to be our final score here. Kind of wait for these to actually populate. You have to give us a second on the sheet. There, the rankings aren't going to be there for a little bit while we get that set up here. These alliances are switching up ever so slightly here. While I believe all it's going to be is Puzzle swapping out for Digital, so hopefully it will be in and out quickly here. Alrighty, so we have the last player on the field here. We are going to get things started. This time with the score right off the bat. Or as closely as we can here, we see these points start to trickle in for these alliances. Maxford and Pongo against 11-18 and Javon. 11-18 being what some might know as Digital Fire. Right over there. And they're going to keep things close. I think this is what we're going to kind of see throughout this division. We're going to see these super close matches. You know, the climbs are going to make all the difference here. Maybe the climb isn't even worth it. Maybe getting that additional secured cycle is going to be what these alliances are looking forward. You see Javon with the brutal defense over there, but you are going to still have to put up points, right? They just denied a cycle, but eventually those cycles are going to slip through. You can't play it perfectly, and if you're going against Alliance with 2 players scoring, they're going to start to make up that difference there. But we are going to see the Red Alliance very close behind, 58-54. Only a couple points separating, and we see the primary score come from a 1188. Javon with his 16 points, I believe, off auto. So nothing crazy there. We got 2 more divs after this, so it seems like I'm a little dead. Probably just saving my voice for the next 2.5 hours of this. And I think a lot of these matches really speak for themselves. You know, we're keeping a tight race here. Javon very consistent on that defense, shutting down Pongo entirely. Maxford and 1188 going for these climbs. They're aiming for the traversal. As these scores are basically tied, Pongo just going up for these last scores, trying to get the climb in. Oh, and there's the fall from the bar and down the rankings. 111 to 94. Is the final score there. We are going to see the final score, the actual red score post as soon as I click out of it. There we go. And Pongo and Maxford are going to be together one last time here. Puzzle's going to swap in for Javon. They're going to take a bit of a rest on the side there. Hopefully Puzzle can get on the field quickly as we move things along. We see not a lot of balls scored. These are relatively low scoring matches still. But you know, with the 2v2s, you're going to see that. You're not going to see these crazy matches that we would see with the 3v3s, because that one extra robot, believe it or not, is going to do so much for your alliance. You know, you're not going to shut down half the game with one robot, right? You're still going to have the other 2 going. And we have our last robot on the field, and we're going to kick things off, keep things moving. Off the bat here, the auto's looking strong, all robots moving, something you don't see in real FRC. Not a single ball missed yet. Let's see if anyone's going to break that streak during the autonomous period. Looks like nobody is. So as the last balls are being scored on auto, 38-30, this 10-point lead, almost 25% higher than their opponent right off the bat. Certainly not a position you want to be in if you're in the Blue Alliance. A minute 30 left for the Lion. Maintaining the lead almost just as strong as it was out of autonomous period kind of highlights the importance of getting those points in early. 90 to 80, that 10-point lead persists. Both 1188 and Puzzle going for scoring, but they are going to collide into each other. Not the situation you want to be in here. Blue is going to get the score much closer. Almost see them take the lead there for a second. but the cycle is going to deny that opportunity. Tied score at the moment. Red just barely maintaining the lead, but not really. Every time a red ball goes in, blue also scores, and there's that 2-ball cycle from 1188 to take the lead immediately, matched by Maxford. All the balls flying into the hopper. This is going to be one of the closest matches. 22 seconds remaining here. The climbs might make all the difference, but so could one more cycle. The double FRC shooter on the blue means that they can kind of pick who's in the better spot to go for that traverse, unless they both end up going for it. Oh, that's a risky move. That bot is so risky to climb with, and the scores are just fluctuating back and forth. Maxford getting on that traverse is going to convert the match. 164, 150. Maxford and Pongo off to the best start that they can possibly ask for here. $164, $150, as I had just said, now being put into the sheet. The Red Alliance with their third in a row. The Alliances are going to get quite a switch up here. Pongo's going to stay on this Red Alliance for almost the whole evening, actually. But we're going to start to see some of these alliances switch up here and there. Getting close to having all the players we need to start up this match here. Pongo and Javon on that Red Alliance. On the blue, we're going to see Maxford and Puzzle waiting on Javon to join the field. They were there previously, but maybe they weren't in the right spot. Maybe they had to adjust a setting. They are getting that figured out now, and there they are. We are going to kick this off. Keep things on a roll. All robots moving. Love to see that. Maybe we can have another perfect autonomous where not a single ball is missed, and we're on track for that at the moment. Every ball connecting with the high goal, and Javon's going to ruin that streak right at the end there, missing a ball. That's 4 points they could have scored, but they don't seem to be too worried about it. 40-32, 2 minutes remaining here. Lots of points to be scored. And we can see on the Red Alliance immediately that they're just, well, right now they are battling. They were battling over the same 2 balls. But Pongo, both playing defense on Puzzle while getting the cycle. It's so important to be able to do both so efficiently. Maxford is just finding these balls wherever he can get them. FRC shooters really good at these shots. Gets all 3 in, even with the pressure from Javon. Very well played there. Minute 15 remaining. Blue Alliance 70-60. They have swung the lead back into their favor. I think a big part of that is the double FRC shooter. They're really good at putting up those points super consistently there. 68-82. 50 seconds remaining, and they're starting to grow this lead. You know, Puzzle's keeping the balls flowing. Pongo's having a little bit of trouble lining up for the shot there. They do get it, and they're safe to go into the traversal over by the rungs, the climbing things, because it was not in the last 30 seconds. But they're going to need to pay attention to that as Pongo missed a cycle. 20-point lead going into climbs is not the spot you want to be in. There's almost a decision to be made. Hey, do we take a slow approach to our climb, make sure we can comfortably sit on that traversal? It does not seem like that's their style here. 20 points leading. The other alliance can't even get more than the mid bar. I mean, 100, 132. Puzzle putting up 69 points there. Very well done right off the bat. And they were the crowd favorite going into that. 91% of the prediction going to the Blue Alliance. All robots in the field. We are going to kick this off. 3, 2, 1. Lights out and away we go here. All robots moving. Another beautiful flurry of balls into the high goal there. Flurry of cargo, as the pros like to call it, apparently. And out of auto, there's no clear alliance that has the lead. And as I say that, blue has like 4 cargo scored. They just had to embarrass me like that. And they're going to keep up that scoring there. We see a missed cycle from Maxford. That's not going to be great. They're not putting up the points we typically expect them to at the moment. And Javon with that defense shuts him down completely there for a second. His 2-ball cycle turns into a 0 just like that. He's actually going to have a little bit of issue finding more balls over there. Luckily, 1188 is going to keep that score close. 52-56, they have taken the lead here. The double FRC shooter, it's going to be very potent here at putting up the points, even under that heavy defense. That being said, having Javon and Pongo both in scoring positions here is going to be huge. Javon typically devotes themselves to a almost exclusive defense position. Max having to dump his hopper to avoid fouls. Pongo getting the attack off the launch pad there. Not what you want to see. It's going to give blue the lead. Javon going to deny them that with that cycle, hopefully, and actually take the lead right back. Maxford looking at 30 points right now. They've faced some serious issues here with the defense. They've missed cycles. We see a little bit of a misalignment here. They do get the cycle off 30 seconds. It's 37 seconds remaining, excuse me. And it is a tied game, 90-90. This is going to be a wild division to watch all the way through. All these teams are so close to each other. 100-94, 4 points separating them. Pongo's going to put a little bit more space between them, as Maxford and 1188 are both going for those climbs. They don't have to wait quite as long because they can only go for that mid bar. But they're getting adventurous with their climbs. Maxford on that high bar, it's going to be huge, especially with Pongo missing. 11-12, 121. Final score is up, and we can see the rankings here. Maxford is flawless at the moment here. He does not have a loss yet. Pongo was right there with him from the beginning, but ever since he's been separated from that alliance, only lost, actually, which is super unfortunate there. The next match, we're going to see Pongo and Javon on the red, and Puzzle and Digital Fire on the Blue Alliance, otherwise known as 1188. 5 matches in, 10 more to go. This is still anyone's game. That is all of our players we are going to start. And we are here. Red Alliance at 8 points. I don't want to do that too soon. They actually just put up a cycle to make it 8 points, but 1188 and Puzzle wanting to change that score there. They're going to put up one more cycle, and they're kind of just matching each other with these 2-ball cycles here. One of these teams going to do something, and there goes Pongo with the defense on both of them at once. Javon shutting him down. They're almost 8 points ahead right now. Puzzle able to get that cycle, but Pongo answers. And so does Javon. It's going to be a huge cycle that they're going to clear out of the truss area. Ooh, and that attack from Puzzle is only going to make things worse. Pongo and Javon keeping this lead up. 74-60. 78-60. 50 seconds remaining. It's definitely still not too early to call the match. It still is too early to call the match. I'm sorry. 10 points separating these alliances. That is a good 2 cycles, 3 cycles maybe, if you don't want to be as gutsy with it. 1188 working to keep Pongo in that truss for those last 30 seconds, unable to do so and convert that to the traversal. Unlucky there. And that would have been a great chance for them to win the game. Especially, big cycle from Puzzle actually. Going to separate them only by 10. 1188 going for that climb. He is able to get traversal. Ooh, not with that angle now. It's going to be real tough, especially with 7 seconds here. Puzzle looking to make something of it. They're going to have to get that climb off, and they are unable to do so. 128-118. It's kind of the same lead we saw from the beginning, right? We saw that 10-point lead from that Red Alliance, and they converted it all the way through. And we're going to see Pongo in a much better position, 4-2. The total points is quite a bit higher than Maxford at the moment, but they have played an additional match. We are now going to see them not take a seat. Actually, they're not going to take a seat in the final 3 matches. All the robots on the field, all the robots in this division will be playing 12 matches this evening to determine their final positions here. Maxford still on this perfect streak here, and we're going to see if he's able to keep it up in this following match. It's going to be Pongo and Puzzle against Maxford and Javon. All players on the field. Kicking things off here. We're going to see a new combination on that Red Alliance. Pongo's going to pair with Puzzle for the next 3 matches. We'll see what they are able to do. Three seconds into the match, and blue is pumping out those points, but red is not too far behind. These 3 ball cycles from Maxford are honestly going to be critical in sustaining and growing that gap between those alliances. Almost went for 4th there. It bounced off his intake, but that's going to be rather unfortunate. They missed 2 of the 3 balls there. Not what you want when you're looking at that 3 ball cycle. They're able to convert that one. It's going to be huge points for them there. 54-60. We see Puzzle reset in a interesting fashion now. If you have not been paying attention recently, and I can't blame you, the reset rules have modified just a little bit. So there's a pretty narrow circumstances that you can reset now, primarily to prevent you from resetting yourself out of a position that you put yourself in. It could have been kind of rough. I don't think that was one of those, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for if you're a competitor, if you're a spectator. 74-78 here. 4 points separate these alliances. Maxford aiming to keep his streak as we move into the last 40 seconds where things can get crazy. They're going to keep this game pretty tied. Javon looking for the balls, not really able to find it. Pongo and Puzzle both with great cycles here. They're going to take the lead, almost 6 points. Maxford with a 1 ball cycle. It's not what you need. And looking at the blue Alliance's cargo availability, they got 5 over by that truss. They're not going to touch that. And I think Maxford's kind of come to this realization here. They're going for this climb, and they're going to need to do it efficiently. They're swinging haphazardly on there. Hardly any points separating, and there goes Maxford's perfect streak. 116, 112. Barring any penalty calls, that score will hold. And anything would have changed the match there for these alliances. You know, the 4 points here, we can see it was a clean match from both of these teams. Out of auto, Blue was up almost 10 points, but they just could not match an Inteleop. And I mean, even with identical endgames there, they still weren't looking at anything too crazy. And with that, actually, Maxford falls, and I put this in air quotes if you could see me, the second. That's because of the total points sort, as they play some more matches as Pongo sits out the last 3. It'll give him an opportunity to rack up those points. About halfway through this division, we are getting there. All robots, we are going to start. And we are off. All robots moving, a beautiful sign. Love to see it. And a beautiful, almost perfect shots there. We're going to see one mix, presumably from 1188 there. And that might be the difference maker here coming out of Autonomous. Maxford going to respond with a huge cycle there at the very end, able to take the lead early on. Maxford going for a 3, 4, 5 ball. Of those, 2 connect with the goal and are scored. Certainly something to be said for trying, definitely, but that's not a huge deal for this Blue Alliance. Tries to go for 3 there, realizes he's gonna get the defense, dumps one kind of almost into the void there. As he is searching for these cycles, he gets the 3 and excellently played. Pongo putting up the scores. Puzzle really the main opponent to Maxford here, but he is on a absolute roll right now. Up almost 12 points for the Blue Alliance with a minute remaining here. Such a high scoring match here, actually. We're seeing, I don't want to say not a lot of defense, but these alliances seem to be primarily focused on pumping up the score, which is a little unfortunate if you're the robot sitting on the side, considering that's the tiebreaker. You know, you don't want to see these high scoring matches that you can't be a part of. 40 seconds, and both alliances looking at triple digits here. Maxford with 64, still much to be played here, especially with their climbs if they're able to get that consistently. He's looking at this last ball, probably looking at a climb afterwards. There's not much for him on this side. Oh, Puzzle's in a rough spot here, and that's going to be the 1 traverse, 2 free traverses here. Oh, Puzzle donating the game to them at the very end. There's not going to be much. Red Alliance have to get 2 traversals here to match. Pongo's not even capable of doing that. They're going to have to get up that score. The victory spins 122 to 162. Seems we have some questions posed about the little maneuver that they did there, trapping the robot in between the 2. But it is not going to be much of a problem. Pongo and Puzzle looking to play against Javon and Digital Fire. And just like that, I have... My internet has died. Hopefully the stream is back up. You'd have to give me a second and get the client set up one more time. My internet seems to have taken a dive there for a second, but we are on our way back right now. And just like that, we are back. I believe this is the alliances that need to be on the field. Pongo, Puzzle, Javon, and 1188. We are all good to start things here. And away we go. To those just joining, this is match number 9, Division 5. They are playing 2v2s in lieu of a missing robot from their division. No worries there. Right off the bat here, the first 30 seconds. Ooh, that tech on Puzzle is going to be rough. He had himself in a rough position there. Red is going to keep the lead for now. The scoring potential of these two players is still so very high. So we are going to see how they approach it. Red's just maintaining this lead here. They're up 12 points. Pongo and Puzzle both putting out these consistent cycles. As I say that, Puzzle sends a cargo soaring directly over, but that is not going to be much of a concern for them at the moment. 12 points, a minute 15 remaining. We're seeing another higher scored match. I don't want to call it high scoring quite yet. We do see the pace of the game start to slow down just a little bit towards the end. And certainly nothing crazy. 86-72 here. 50 seconds remaining. Pongo, 48 points. Really, the opponent here is 1188, trying to match the scoring that they are putting up there. Javon primarily devoting themselves to the defense. There's 5 balls waiting for them. 33 seconds. 1188 is in a really tough position there. Tears the double traverse. 132. You can't get too greedy. It feels like that's gonna lock the match in for them. The double traverse. That's 30 points, right? You're looking at what, 15 additional cargo you got to score. 1188 looking up to make up some of the difference with the traversal climb, going to time it right, and they are going to get there, but it's not going to matter. 150 to 119 separating these two, or is the final score for these two alliances. Wonderfully done there by the Red Alliance. A calculated decision, to say the least, to get those points off at the end. And we're going to see Pongo with their final dedicated teammates of the evening here. Pongo's got 3 more matches, and then they set up the last 3. They're going to be paired with 1188 for these last 3 matches while they're here. They're up 6-3. I mean, and Maxford is in a great position to overtake him, especially playing against him in these next 2 matches. Match 1. Okay, there's a very good chance that it says match 1. There's also a very good chance it says Rapid React Radioactive Rumble. I'm like 98% sure I swapped that file out for the right one. Match 1's gone. Don't even worry about it. No more. Not like this, please. As for the Radioactive Rumble, it is kind of crazy how it still says Radioactive Rumble, isn't it? It's wild. What might I even say? But as we wait for these alliances that are on the field, actually, I think, and I am the one slowing down this division now. Pongo and 1188 against Maxford and Javon. We're going to get to the field. We're going to start the match right off the bat. We want to keep things moving at 8:58. We still got a couple of these matches to get through. And while this match is going, I'm going to take a quick little water break and get that figured out. Enjoy this nice little lo-fi music in the background and get those predictions going in chat. I think we have one of our mods running that, so get those predictions in and enjoy this match. Already, I am back to a tie game with a minute remaining. It is anyone's match. This is primarily the battle between Maxford and Pongo at this point. They're battling for this first place, not only getting points, they need the win. So they're going to fight hard to keep those points high. But also, you know, defense is not to be neglected here, especially with someone like Javon in your alliance, right? Setting them to do defense is going to be fantastic at improving your odds of winning this. See a ball going high over that I think it's called the hub, yeah, unless I'm crazy. 108 to 104, 15 seconds remaining here, 2 points separating him. Maxford, he's going for these climbs. He's been looking a little more consistent. If he times the swing, it is his free traverse. He gets it, Javon gets off the ground, and it's going to be a 1 point difference separating these two alliances. 1 point separating who is currently in first, 130 to 131. And with that, we're going to see Maxford bumped up to that first place spot there. If Maxford wins this next match, he's going to, I believe, lock himself into that first place there. It's not going to be possible for Pongo to catch up. I mean, even so, he's in a very, very good position there. The one loss there, tragic. He lost by 4 points. This next match is going to see Pongo with 1180 again against Maxford and Puzzle. So we're going to see Javon leave the server. May or may not have accidentally kicked Puzzle. I am so very sorry for that. They seem to have joined the field back, no problem. So we're going to kick things off. This match is going to decide who secures that first place position. And they're going to keep things tight after the first 30 seconds. 1188 and Pongo both looking to be the primary scorers, and Maxford is going to kind of have to make up that difference. Puzzle, though, is still an excellent asset to that alliance. We're going to see big scores come out from both of them immediately after. The consistently offered by Pongo in the mini drone is definitely not something to neglect. Blue going to have the 2-point lead here. You know, being able to just kind of back yourself into a wall and take those 2 shots consistently, that's pretty strong. But of course, you are kind of limited to that one position. And we see Pongo actually make that shot while, bullying Maxford, and we're going to see him hit the possession limit there. He's going to get that foul assessed for that 78-76. And is that another foul? Or am I crazy? Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention. 92-90. They're going to keep things close. 50 seconds remaining. Maxford, 56 points. Currently the MVP on the field. Definitely reflective of his position as well on the in his division in that first place spot. Pongo doing all they can to even have an opportunity at that first place position. We see the reset from 1188 might take that into question. 20 seconds remain here. 120, 114. 13 seconds remaining. Red up by quite a bit. 1188 struggling with that climb. The double FRC shooter and the consistency Maxford gets on that traverse. He's going to grab it. 139, 132, 1 point flip-flop between these alliances, and that is it. Another 1 point match. 138, 139. I mean, just if you're Pongo now, you have to be shaking your head. You know, there's 2 matches that you'll never get back. Pongo, I mean, even if they do win their last match here, they're going to look at a 75 record. Maxford has more wins and 3 more matches to go. At that same time, it's not the position you want to be in. It's Pongo and 1188 for the final time together against Javon and Puzzle. Match result screen is probably a great idea, right? I mean, break it down here. It's that end game that's making up all the difference here. You know, they came out ahead on auto. They even had those 8 penalties helping them out here. But at the end of the day, it's not what you need. I believe we have everyone for this next match. Pongo, 1188, Puzzle, Javon. Let's kick things off. 3, 2, and 1. Away we go here. Hongo's last appearance on Div 5 this week. It's looking like we'll see them here next week. It was actually a perfect distribution of the balls. Did anyone else see that? There was 8 cargo perfectly in there, and they split evenly, opposite of where they had entered, right? So like the two blue cargo went into the red side and away from where they had shot it, and same with the red. That was so satisfying. And it occupied 20 seconds, which means I didn't have to think about what to say. So that's plus. And I mean, you know, it's never great to call matches early. But you know, these early leads, they do have the impact, and it's definitely demonstrative of the power that an alliance has, especially when they are able to sustain and grow it as we are seeing here. You know, Puzzle just putting up these crazy numbers here. 1188 with possession, foul there, 13 points ahead at this point. It's not what you want to be seeing, especially with your last time on this field. 15 points, 13, 11 points separating. Puzzle quick to answer with more cargo put up for their alliance. A minute remaining, almost 20 points separating these alliances. At no point here have I been a bit worried for the Blue Alliance opportunity to win here, and I just can't say the same for the Red Alliance. Almost 30 points separating, 40 seconds. I mean, breaking it down here, you're going to see 1188 on the traverse. You're going to see Puzzle not on the traverse. You're going to need to see Hongo on the bar. You're going to see Javon not on the bar. But I mean, even then, that just means Puzzle and Javon are going to be putting up points and growing their lead, almost 40 points separating these alliances. Puzzle 70 points himself, looking to get about 85 if he can get onto Traverse. But we all know, especially I'm just looking at it, Puzzle's struggling a bit there. He's going to climb, but he's swinging wildly, grasping for that. He's going to settle on that high bar comfortably. 93, 138. That's going to be all we see of Pongo this week. They're going to end their week 6-6, kind of middle of the pack. And I mean, just like look at this, we see all the wins going to Maxford. They're just consistently taking them home with them. Man, it's so unfortunate. I'm looking at their one loss too. They were, I believe it was a loss of like 4 points, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was match 7, 116 to 112. These last few matches, we're going to see Maxford locked onto that Red Alliance. And they're going to be with Juwan, and they are going to be against Puzzle around 11:88. Here we go. 3 matches remaining here. Not too far behind schedule. We're going to give Div 1 a little bit of chance. They are up next. Hopefully we're looking at a 3v3. There's a possibility a 2v2. We see a 2v2 there. Out of auto, we see the Red Alliance snagging the lead just barely, though. They're going to follow it up with some easy points right out of the autonomous period. Sorry, I had one of those sneezes that felt like it was going forever, so I muted myself in preparation, and then it took about 20-25 seconds. So we are back now, and Red Alliance has an iron-tight hold on the lead, um, unless Maxford puts up one of his opponent's balls, and he does not. So we're going to see no issue there. Ooh, the possession limit is going to hit him, though, and it's going to be not great to see. 43 seconds, and Blue has relinquished the iron-tight hold that Red had, and Monster could be looking at his second loss this evening. He is not going to go down without a fight there. Missing the ball, it's not what you want to see. Javon working that defense. 1188 misses the whole cycle. That's actually going to be huge. And they're matching cycles here. 15 seconds. It's going to be climbs to make the difference. Javon putting up these final points. 6 seconds. Maxford comfortably on that traverse. Puzzle saying the same. Javon able to get the climb. 131, 128. These final 2 matches, and Maxford is only growing their lead. We're starting it, and now you get the screen that you're about to see in 3, 2, cool transition, and we're off. "30 seconds in, Red again. We're seeing that lead that we've come seeing with Maxford. He just prints points. I want to know how he does it. I gotta be honest. I really want to know how he does it. Pretty cool. It's so consistently. 54, 52. He's gonna need to print more of these points though. Blue taking the lead for the first time in this match. Only got about 4 points, so it's just a 1 cycle separating them. But I mean, shutting them down so beautifully there. They're actually gonna be able to grow that lead just a little bit as these last few cargo cycle through. They're up 2 points, and the cycles are essentially matching each other at this point here. Javon able to play that shutdown defense that they are so famous for, and then it remaining 4 points separate these 2 alliances of the second to last match of this division. "24 seconds remaining, and I come back, and 15 points are separating these alliances. 1 second remaining, and the climbs are going to secure it for them. 120 to 133. It almost makes Maxford's first loss not seem so tragic anymore. The 13-point loss, there's not quite as much you can do about that, unfortunately. Take it to post game. We can break down kind of what happened here. Out of auto, we saw Red take the lead, but Teliop was just massively swung the other way. Endgame kind of fell in red's favor, but ultimately it was simply not enough. So this is the final match of the division. Kind of taking a look at these rankings here. We can see a little bit of shakeup in the mid pack. Maxford and 1188. So Javon and Puzzle actually going to kind of ride with each other. But if they win, they both. Oh, Puzzle has the potential to overtake Congo. Probably will if they win this match. Looking for the final robot on the field. Paging 1188. It worked. I summoned them. Stupid. Final match of Division 5 here. All the energy in the world all of a sudden, and here we go. We actually have a score. Isn't that so exciting? What's not exciting is those balls struggling to filter through. You see the points start to accrue 22-26 directly out of autonomous period. They're still eligible for the 4 points for that last second there. 30-30, it is tied. Javon putting up the primary points in this match so far. 1188, not too far behind. Maxford going to match that easily. 3 balls in the hopper. If they're... Correction, 2 balls in the hopper. I'm a little bit blind. Able to clear it out. It's no big deal. 46-44. Massive cycle in from blue there. We can see those points. It's not even a trickle. I can't even say they trickled in. They dumped in all of a sudden. Javon missing one there. That's going to hurt, especially with that 3-ball cycle from 1188, 60-60. They're able to tie it up. Puzzle matching their energy. Javon focusing their efforts on shutting down Maxford. Honestly, probably the best way to approach it after we've seen this division. 64-66. These alliances are keeping it close. 6 points separating a minute 15 remaining here. Maxford actually not the primary scorer right now. 1188 kind of taking over that position. They have gotten that shutdown defense that Javon is so very famous for. So it's definitely not like a lack of effort for Maxford, I guess, is what I'm getting at here. Especially with those 2 balls scored under heavy defense. But Puzzle is unhindered in their efforts to print points. For doing all they can. Blue not even running away with it, because as soon as I say that, red just puts up the score and just completely ties up the game. 30 seconds remaining. It is anyone's here. Balls flying absolutely everywhere. 20 seconds, you don't want to be in your opponent's traversal area. Puzzle the first line for these climbs. 19 seconds, he wants to secure that traversal. 1188 doing the exact same thing. Javon maybe looking to stall Maxford out. Puzzle, a blink and he's on the traverse. That could be the game changer, especially with how much of a struggle 1188's getting there. Maxford climbs up 2 bars, almost gets the 3rd, but we're not going to see it come soon enough. 110-127. So we are going to see the final results for this come out a little bit closer than I was expecting.